I was in New York City autographing the first book that I wrote. While sitting there autographing the book, a black woman came up to me and said, "Are you Dr. Martin Luther King?" And I said, "Yes," with my head down writing. Before I knew it, I was stabbed by this demented woman. The tip of the blade that went through to my aorta, the main artery. And once that punctured, you drown in your own blood. After the ambulance came, they took me to the Harlem Hospital, and the doctor revealed that the tip of the blade had went through. And if I had merely sneezed, I would have died. Well, several days later, they allowed me to move around in a wheelchair. And kind letters came from all over the city, all over the state, and all over the world. But this one particular letter I'll never forget. I got a visiting letter from the president and the vice president. I got a telegram from the governor and the mayor of New York City. But this one particular letter I'll never forget. It came from a little girl. It says, "Sympathy, Dr. King. I read in the paper of your misfortune and your suffering. And I read that if you had sneezed, that you would have died. I'm just simply writing you to let you know that I'm so happy that you didn't sneeze. I, too, am so happy that I didn't sneeze. Because if I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been around here in 1960, when students all over the South started sitting in at lunch counters. And we know as they were sitting in, they really were standing up for the best in the American dream. We're taking this whole nation back to that great wealth of democracy, which was dug deep by our founder and father in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. If I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been around here in 1961, when we decided to take a ride for freedom and ended segregation and interstate travelers. If I had sneezed, we wouldn't have been around here in 1962 in Auburn, Georgia, when Negroes of Auburn, Georgia decided to straighten their backs up. Whenever men and women decide to straighten their backs up, they're going somewhere. Because a man can't ride your back unless it is bent. If I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been around here in 1963. A later part of the year to see our brothers and sisters were suffering. If I had sneezed, I wouldn't have been around here to tell America about a dream that I had. I'm so happy today that I didn't sneeze. And they were telling me, as I got into Atlanta, there were 6 of us on the plane, and the pilot came on the public address system. "We are sorry for the delay, but we have Dr. King on the plane. And to make sure that everything is all right, the plane was protected and guarded all night." But I got into Memphis, and some began to talk. I talk about the threat thereof, or what might happen to me from some of our sick white brothers. Well, I don't know what's going to happen now. There's some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter to me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. Like any man, I would like to live a long life. Longevity have its place. But I'm not concerned about that right now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I looked over, and I seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know the day that we as a people will get to the promised land. I had